The Rewind
Sports 60.
We can now say this in a positive way, I think. Only the Bulls! Only the Bulls! They finally made a decision, hopefully in the right direction. And to talk more about the move of our Chicago Bulls, we're pleased to welcome on our TRS60 hotline. He is the one, he's the only, he's the best in the business, only one of three former NBA players with a doctorate degree. He is the great Dr. Lloyd Walton on our TRS60 hotline. What's up, Doc? How are you?
Happy Easter, guys. How are you?
Wonderful.
Happy Easter to you, man.
Good.
Hey, man. So, hey, were you jumping up and down in your out of your lazy boy in the TV room, man, with your boxes on, you screaming, "Yay, the Bulls are finally doing it"? Were you excited?
Absolutely not. You'll never catch me jumping up and down in my boxer shorts, out of my boxer shorts. Period. Come on, man. I'm way too old for that. Look, the Bulls did what everybody has been wanting them to do probably for the last 5 years. Maybe longer, but certainly the last 5 years. They've been wanting them to make a change with their front office. And they finally did. You know, they brought in this Arturas, Karnisovas. He's got a lengthy track record, his latest being at Denver as a GM. And so let's see what he does. I mean, he's already done some hiring, brought some guys with him from Denver. And he says that he's going to hire a general manager, a person of color. So we'll see. A couple guys have already, organizations have turned him down, like Troy Weaver, who's at OKC. Mm-hmm. OKC denied him permission to do that. Bobby Webster at Toronto. Toronto denied him to do that. So you still have a list out there. My two favorite candidates, I'll be honest with you, for the GM of the Chicago Bulls is both hometown guys, Mike Finley, who's with Dallas, and Nazr Mohammed. I'd love to see those two guys as GMs. Both of them are working in similar capacities now with their respective organizations. I would love to see that happen, actually. It's nothing like the NFL. We don't have a Rooney Rule, if you will. So it's almost like this would be something a little bit different, a little bit more diverse. And I'd like to see it happen. Let's see what we can do with it.
Yeah, you know what? I'd like to see it as well. I'm sure a lot of folks would like to see that. And, with the coronavirus, COVID-19 taking, priority over everything, some people, were kind of questioning the Bulls and, saying, hey, how come you didn't interview a person of color to take over the role as vice president of basketball operations for John Paxson, who goes up to the advisory role with the organization. But there were some people saying, hey, you know what? You didn't interview or even have on your list one person of color. So it's good that Karnisovas is coming in and already making moves to try to take this organization, this franchise, back to winning respectability, and, of course, including a person of color as far as the GM is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see what he's going to do. It's not just about, an individual as a person of color who comes in and makes this thing happen. They're assembling a whole new team, so the team is going to be responsible for this. I don't even know if he's actually going to do it. This is stuff that you read and that you hear about. So until it actually happens, then we'll see. But the most important thing is that the Bulls have made a decision to go in a new direction with their front office. And so I'm happy about that. I want to see what the results look like, when it's all said and done, what their team looks like, and then how they're going to assemble this roster and even the coach, if you will. So we'll see.
Doc, and kind of speaking on what you were saying, there is no Rooney Rule like it is in the NFL. A lot of people were disappointed, as Jerry spoke to, about the lack of African-American candidates that got opportunities. There are 8 general managers in the league, and only 6 of them are African-American in a league that is 75% black. So I wanted to get your insight on this. Do you think the NBA has a problem hiring minority candidates?
Well, let me say this. I just shared with you that we don't have a Rooney Rule, right? But we do have voices, okay? Predominantly African-American players are in this league. And I said this on one of my posts on social media, that now is the time because rightfully so, the NBA has had a very diverse and inclusive kind of narrative about them, and they've earned that. But now is the time to revisit this hiring, at least this interview, ultimately hiring people of color in those kind of roles with these respective organizations. You can't force anybody to do anything, but we need to have that conversation. And we need to have that conversation now. Now, that's my opinion. That's a personal opinion, but why not? If we have these many players who are African Americans, why don't we have more head coaches, more general managers that head these teams up? I don't understand why. It's not a monolithic thing in terms of every team has to do the same thing. I get that part. But we should be included, at least being considered. So, yeah.
No, I agree with you. We should be considering. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to consider you, Dr. Lloyd Walton, to become the next general manager for the Chicago Bulls, man.
Absolutely.
I think, hey, you've got the experience, you've got the knowledge. Of course, again, only one of 3 NBA former players to hold a doctorate degree. So you have the intellect, you have the knowledge, you played the game, you interact with the current players and the former players. You have you know the landscape of the league, and you here's the beauty of it. Here's the beauty of it, Doc. Stay with me now. You are product of Chicago, Illinois, the greatest sports town in the world. You're right in the backyard of the Chicago Bulls. I'm going to listen. I'm going to get on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday, right? I'm getting on the line. What is his name? Arturas, Karnisovas. Mm-hmm. I'm calling his office. I'm calling Paxson. Is Doug Collins still an advisor? I'm calling him. I'm calling Jerry, the GM for the 22 or 2021 Chicago Bulls is our own Dr. Lloyd Walton.
There it is.
You're in it.
Hey, Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry. You know, I've had so many lessons in life, but one of the best lessons I've learned in life through the many years involved in sports and other different things is know your role. Okay? Know your role. And don't try to exceed your role. That is not my role, right? That's not what I would want to do. That's not what I haven't had the experience of doing it. And I've heard people say, you can't just put anybody in that kind of a position. That's unfair to the organization. It's unfair to the person. I know you guys are joking, but this is a position that's going to be critical to their success. Okay? And I want to see somebody who's been at least an assistant general manager and see what they have done with that respective team that they were with, right, to put in this position. Because we want the Bulls to assemble the best qualified people so they can put together the team and put them in the right direction. I don't want them to make all these changes and we're still at the bottom of the cellar in the East. It doesn't make sense, right? So let's get the best possible people. And I'm sure there's an African-American person out there who's in that category. Let's not wait. Let's not delay. Not ask all these stupid questions. These guys have been playing in the NBA. Michael Finley, I think it was 15 years. Nazr was 18 years. These are the kind of individuals that you want, and they've been in the capacity of assistant GMs in the respective organizations that they are. Mm-hmm. Let's give these guys a chance. Seriously.
Marvelous. What do you think?
I agree. I think that actually, I was thinking his first move, he might want to bring over a familiar name, Wes Unseld Jr. as a coach, because he was doing a good job as an associate head coach at Denver with Arturas. So that would be another move that he might want to make to change the coach, which I'm in favor of.
You know what? Here's the only thing, Marvelous. I think that he's going to get a job at some point. Here's the only thing with me when we start talking about. He's already bringing 2 guys over from Denver. I don't want this to be a recycled Denver staff, if you will. There are too many other guys out there who are capable of being a coach and a GM. And I'll tell you my pick for the head coach. And I'm not saying he can't coach, but my pick for the head coach is Adrian Griffin. Okay, he's been the #1 assistant for Toronto. He was Thibodeau's #1 assistant here in Chicago. He's been at Dallas as an assistant, and they won a championship, as you all know, in Toronto. He's more than ready. And one thing that people don't know, he's going to be the next former player to earn a doctorate degree. So,
breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he is. He's about a year away. We've had a number of conversations. I've been helping him out on one of the projects. So yeah, my vote is to him. Means nothing, but I would love to see him get that opportunity. I mean, and he's a class act, okay? He's not a jerk. He's not an a-hole. He's a class act. Under tremendous circumstances, he will be a good person to be the face of that organization until they get a star.
The Rewind Sports 60.